Tides are the regular rising and falling of Earth's surface water in response to the gravitational attraction of the Moon and Sun. The Moon's gravity pulls upwards on Earth's water, causing it to bulge out in the direction of the Moon. Most places will have 2 high tides and 2 low tide each day. Spring tides are when the Sun, Moon and Earth line up in a straight line. They typically occur around a full or new moon. During a spring tide, high tides are really high, which means that low tides are really low. Neap tides occurs when the Sun and Moon are at right angles. It produce less extreme tides than the normal tides. These tides generally occur around the first and third quarter. Neap tides occurs when the Sun and Moon are at right angles. It produce less extreme tides than the normal tides. These tides generally occur around the first and third quarter. Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse occurs when the new moon passes directly between the Earth and Sun. This casts a shadow on the Earth and blocks Earth's view of the Sun. Total solar eclipse occurs when the moon's shadow completely blocks the Sun. When only a portion of the Sun is out of view, it is called a partial solar eclipse. Solar eclipses are rare and usually only last a few minutes because the moon casts only a small shadow. A lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth blocks sunlight from hitting the moon. The seasons are caused by the 23.5 degrees tilt of Earth's axis of rotation relative to its plane of orbit around the Sun. Earth's path around the Sun is not circular, nor is the Sun situated at the center of this path. Instead, Earth's orbit is elliptical, with the Sun closer to one end of the orbital path than the other. Summer south of the equator and winter north of the equator. The Sun shines directly on the southern hemisphere and indirectly on the northern hemisphere. Fall south of the equator. And spring north of the equator. The Sun shines equally on the southern and northern hemisphere. Winter south of the equator, and summer north of the equator. The Sun shines directly on the northern hemisphere and indirectly on the southern hemisphere. Spring south of the equator, and fall north of the equator. The Sun shines equally on the southern and northern hemisphere.